Hello and welcome, everybody. This is our podcast, Welcome to Livingston, where we invite local businesses in from Livingston County to talk about what they have going on. My name is Don Putkela.
And I'm Angela Putkela, and we're with the Putkela Group Real Estate Professionals.
Yeah, and we are so excited. Today we have with us from Livingston County Gymnastics, Katie Paquette and Tracey Litz. Thank you so much for joining us today.
Thank you very much for having us.
Great. Yeah, it's interesting because our daughter is into cheer. Cheer is her whole world. But for those that aren't as familiar with cheer, gymnastics is a big and important part of all that. And so we've really been looking for some place because she really needs to beef up some of her skills here. And I kind of just stumbled across you guys, and you're the best thing going. I mean, all the other cheer moms were out there calling up places in Wixom and South Lyon and trekking your kids all over. And here, once we found out about you guys, it has been fantastic. So why don't you tell us a little about your business, Katie, and what is Livingston County Gymnastics?
Oh, thank you very much. Livingston County Gymnastics, we're a gymnastics facility, but we also teach cheer too, like skills for cheer. We're located in Howell by the Pepsi plant and the kind of corner of Mason Road there. And we've been around since 2009.
Yeah, like you guys have been here a long time.
We have.
It's just amazing. I mean, for us, it was a hidden gem because we didn't know you guys were there. And then the minute we discovered you were there, I mean, our daughter just took to it, and she loves it so much. And, the people she's working with there have been so nice and kind. And just in the short time, we've seen such progression that it's just amazing the energy and the time you guys put into people over there.
Oh, well, thank you very much. Yeah, we really try hard to offer, like a fun, safe environment for kids where they can grow and gain confidence in themselves because you don't do gymnastics forever, but we can teach skills that will help them later on in life to, build themselves up. And when you fall down, you get back up. And just like in life, you do many things that way. So,
yeah, it's a great way to learn those skills, like just in real time there. Yeah.
We have a lot of dedicated coaches that they go through like CPR training and concussion training. And they really do care for the kids, and they have fun doing what they do.
Neat. Now, what kinds of classes do you guys offer?
We offer classes for preschool age all the way up through our team kids, which are teenagers or high schoolers. We are the home to the Fowlerville Pinckney High School team right now, too.
Wow, that's wonderful. There, other communities in the county here that we don't necessarily, we spend so much time, unfortunately, on just Brighton and Howell that it's nice to have that outreach. And for those, those that are competing in those places there, because even though they're smaller schools, it's nice to know they have gymnastics then.
Yeah, it's very nice that we're able to co-op with different schools because some kids, only one kid goes to Weberville and we've co-opted with them, or Byron, we've had a co-op with them for 3 to 4 years, and they have, I think the girls were telling me in their graduating class, 60 kids. So, there's not very many gymnasts that came, but to field a team, you need a bit more than the 2 kids. So right. It's nice as a co-op to.
So it's like a combined team then.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
And they do all the practicing at your facility then?
Yep, they do all the practicing together, and they kind of build those relationships with those other kids from the other schools. And, we go to all the competitions together. And
oh, that's fantastic, because then they have that resource. So even those from some of the communities that are a little more rural can at least benefit from.
Oh, for sure.
Having that as a resource. That's awesome.
How does a gymnastics gym, how do you get started in something like that? What brought you to that?
Oh, I did gymnastics as a kid from when I was 18 months old all the way through, like tumbling in the driveway, everywhere, putting on those little shows for your mom and dad, buy your tickets. And I just always loved it. And I think when I was younger, I just started helping out with a class. They needed somebody to help collect the kids to round them up, to get them to pay attention. And then I just kind of fell in love with it and started training. And then I think I've been coaching since I've been 15 years old. So I've been doing it a long time. I love it though. I love the smiles on the kids' faces. I love when they're so proud of themselves for figuring out how to do something they've worked so hard to do.
Yeah, because that definitely takes guidance. It's not an easy thing necessarily. I think, some sports are a little more intuitive than others, but with the gymnastics, there's a lot of physics involved, really.
Yeah, and a lot of strength, flexibility, a lot of different things, a lot of getting to know your body.
That's awesome. So, so you have that background. And Tracey, how about you? Did you do gymnastics at a young age, or was that something your kids brought you into? Or?
At the most that I did, I'm from another state, so I did some YMCA gymnastics, basic classes. I really got involved with LCG because my children both were gymnasts.
Great. Now, how early did they start?
They both started between the ages of 4 and 5.
Okay. And that's something they kind of continued for a little while and enjoyed?
Yes, they competed all through the recreation program at LCG under Katie, and then they both competed as high school gymnasts for Fowlerville. And their co-op with the other schools, there was Fowlerville, Byron, Pinckney, and Perry at the time. So it was quite a group of girls, and they were very successful, and I couldn't be prouder.
That is wonderful. It's nice that you have that firsthand experience with it, because I wonder if there's some listeners out there that may not even be aware that this is out there and available.
That was one of the main, when people call in, they're like, I didn't even know you were there, or confuse us with another gym. And when we tell them our location, they're completely shocked that we're there. So we've kind of flown under the radar for all this time, but have had success, even though that's been the case.
Yeah, you're kind of like the best kept secret of Livingston County. Because certainly, we weren't aware either, and it's so exciting. Our daughter has since brought a friend in as well, and it's so cute because both of them have been doing some of the tumbling to support their cheer, and to see just the beaming smiles of how much they're enjoying it. And some of what they've shared they've had other gymnastics coaches, but what they're experiencing there in your gym is that the coach that's guiding them really knows her stuff, and suggestions as simple as, well, when you're doing that, and I don't speak gymnastics. They were mean to me at some of the other places because I don't know the terms, but whether it's back handspring or whatnot. But the coach said, well, hey, are your eyes closed or are you keeping them open? And it was a real eye-opener, literally, because that wasn't something she had ever thought of, and that made a huge difference in the move.
No, it's very true. A lot of kids don't even realize it, and they can totally land something, or they just don't understand their bodies yet, and how they totally move. And once they get going and they understand how to fall safely or how to keep their eyes open,
Right.
Come a lot easier.
Yep, and I think our daughter's going to be starting some of the gymnastics classes there as well, because it's funny. I went there with her once, and I don't go because she gets distracted by trying to show off to me
showing off.
instead of doing other stuff. But it's so interesting because a lot of kids, they don't have access to uneven bars and balance beams if the schools don't have them. So she walks in there, and the first thing she does is she wants to jump up on the uneven bars. And
we should ask, what... Obviously, there's the uneven bars, but what types of equipment do you guys have?
We have vault, bars, beam, floor, and then we have a tumble track too. We offer open gyms though, so you can come check us out, and we have one coming up in March 16th actually, from 12 to 2.
Nice, wonderful. And if you happen to listen to it and it's after this time, know that there's other dates available. So we'll definitely refer to the show notes too in terms of finding that out. But so how does that work for the open gym? Like people they can show up?
Yep, but you can pre-register on our website there and reserve your spot. And then you come and you sign your waiver, and you can sign it online. And then you bring your child and they try out the gym. And there's coaches there that help your child with different skills that they want to learn or what they're working on. And yep.
That is so neat. See, I didn't even realize that either. And kind of handy. And then in terms of some of the different equipment, I do think there's potential for, as our daughters into cheer and so forth, that whole gymnastics side is a whole different animal. It's like they're parts that overlap, but how much fun, and just the fitness.
Yeah,
Behind it too?
we've had different we've had classes before offered to dancers too that come in and they're like, I want to learn this skill for dance. So they come in and they work specifically on tumbling skills in a floor class to work on those skills too. So yeah, we've had other sports come in too and want different things too.
Excellent. So yes, for you to be able to kind of cater to that sort of custom experience, no matter what somebody's sport is, that there's such benefit.
Because it is a full body workout. It is, amazing when you watch the kids do this, that you don't realize just how extraordinary some of the things they're doing and the strength and stamina that some of them take.
Oh, yes. Yeah. There's some pretty strong kids in there for sure. I know it's my favorite when they come back from gym and they're like, I beat everybody on the pull-up contest. I'm like, well, nobody really does pull-ups anymore very often.
That's true. Yeah.
But they're always excited, or push-ups or whatever it may be,
Yeah.
But yeah.
What makes LCG different, do you think? Like, what's your experience on that?
Well, I'll speak on that. LCG is, many people don't know that it is a nonprofit organization. Katie started this gym as a sub-S or an sub-S. She started the business, and after 4 years, she got married. She was a full-time pharmacist, and she was hoping to start a family. So the running the business and having a full-time job and being a wife and hopefully a mother came to, what do? I need help. At that time, she called a meeting of our parents and said, look, this is what's going on in my life, and I need your help. I'm willing to turn this over to a board. We'll figure out how to make it a 501c3, and just needed volunteers to do that. A handful of parents stepped up. We did the work, did the paperwork, did all that. She donated every piece of equipment, everything in that gym. She handed over.
Oh my gosh.
That she had worked so hard to build.
That's amazing.
What a beautiful legacy that here is this gem in our community. And it's not, because some of these places are charging an arm and a leg, and for it to be affordable for families and to be a nonprofit and to support such a great resource, that's remarkable.
Thank you. No, I was super lucky to have these great parents step up because I couldn't do it alone anymore.
Takes a village, right?
It certainly does.
Yes, we call ourselves an LCG family, and it is 100% true.
Oh, so this community that you've built, that I'm sure because your children are getting older, Tracey, and more people are coming on, probably it's that community and that group and experience, and probably feeling like a family then, huh?
Oh, for sure. Yeah, it's nice because, even the kids, you always ask them, oh, how was your cross-country meet? Or how was, you know what's going on in their lives. And it's just neat for them to be able to share those experiences, or they get together and go cheer each other on different plays. Like some of them are in a play, Shrek coming up, just different things. I love that they just are there for one another.
Now, what school districts are most of them? And you had mentioned for those that are the older that compete, but, for some of these younger ones, are they kind of from all over the county, or?
Yeah, we have Heartland, Howell, Brighton, Pinckney, Fowlerville, Weberville, yeah.
Wow, from all over. And how do people find out about you usually? Like just in general, like the people that have come there, just word of mouth probably then, huh?
Yeah, basically word of mouth, I would say.
I see. That's what I'm saying. Best kept secret.
Yep.
All these things you can find from our podcast.
Right.
Great places. Yep.
So for someone coming in, if they're young or such, how does the progression work? At what age do you suggest people start, and how does someone get started in something like this?
Well, they can really start at any age. We have different classes for different age groups. So when they come in, if they're, they do like a little evaluation, and if they're a beginner, then they start the beginner class. The nice thing about our program is we run 8-week sessions. So say your child really is just not liking gymnastics, or they're too young and they can't handle it yet, and they don't, can't stand in line. You're only on the hook for those 8 weeks. You've tried it out. You've given it, so it's kind of nice. You're not stuck into like a half of a school year or a full school year or anything like that. But yeah, we we evaluate, and then there's different evaluations done at the end of each session. So then you can move up when you're ready. at your own pace.
Great. Yeah. So going at it at your own pace. And I feel like a lot of the kids that participate in sports and activities have lots of different activities. So where they can kind of fit it in, So for our daughter, wait till after cheer season wraps up and then get started on something there. And so then it goes throughout the whole year then, basically, right?
Yeah. Our team program, our kids that compete, they do tend to go year round. But I mean, the nice thing about ours is it's so flexible that you can play those other sports. We have some kids that play soccer in the summer or softball, but they still do the gymnastics because we're only a couple days a week where you're able to do, kind of do it all. And I think it's good for them as kids to try out different things and, find your niche.
Right.
Exactly.
And then as they get older and their bodies progress and such, they can do more advanced maneuvers as well then, right?
That is true.
Yes.
It just seems like sometimes you have like a weekend special clinic or something if, for anyone that wants to work on whatever that move is.
Yeah, we do. Well, you'll have to watch for the website, but there's different, there is different clinics offered at different times of the year for kids that are just wanting to work specific skill on the bars or a tumbling skill on the floor. So that is true too.
That's great. I feel like there's so many things you guys offer. I saw something on your website about birthday parties even.
We do. We offer birthday parties.
Yeah, so a birthday party, the way that works, if you're interested, you would contact the gym by phone. We have a wonderful gym manager, Aura, who would be happy to help set that up for you. She would then, you can be a coach of your choice. If you have a coach that you work with already that you would like to be at the birthday party and be the coach there, she could get their availability, choose your date. She sets that up. We offer all the paper products, so it's up to 10 gymnasts. It's it's
200 for 2 hours.
200 for 2 hours. So, and that you can set that up any way you want. It's ran open gym style. The coach will do games with them and whatnot, but also you can do the 2 hours in the gym or do a little bit of time for cake in the lobby. You can bring in your own food. It's all within that $200.
Yeah. Or you could even do a cheer party at the end of the cheer part or at the end of the year where if the kids want to come in and play, or it doesn't have to be cheer. It could be taekwondo, field trips. It could be for any, it doesn't have to be just a birthday party too.
Yeah.
Wow.
That way it's kind of versatile and I remember when our kids were younger and trying to come up with something fun for them to do, especially, when they couldn't do things outdoors. Right. So for that birthday party, and in some years, everybody would pick the same one thing, and it's like, okay, going back here, and it's like I always remember like what would be something different that won't break the bank. And
well, we did like 8 years of scouts too, so it's a lot of things where you're looking for different things to happen. You can only do laser tag so many times.
Right.
Honest to goodness. So, but it just feels like it's so versatile. And, in terms of your facility, it's just such a nice facility for those that haven't been there yet. And you should absolutely check it out. I like that there's a space that's a parent room. So with just a big, huge window. So that way you can watch your child as they're working on their skills, and comfortable seats. So they aren't even just like, anytime I go anyplace else that, the parents, it's just just the worst little fold out chair that's metal and uncomfortable. And you're like, oh, but they're like cushy and nice. And even though they're fold out, they're like, the best possible fold out chairs ever. Like
right.
they're, it definitely is something we notice. And I did notice on your board that it's a nut free facility. So that way, even as you bring the birthday cakes in, people just, not anything peanut related. And so then those with those allergies can feel comfortable in a very safe environment, which brings me to safety, because you had mentioned that too. And with gymnastics, safety is a huge topic, right?
Yes. We do have all of our coaches go through like training. They do hands-on training, they do concussion training, and then they also do CPR training. So we do provide all that for them to be able to go on the floor and coach. We do have some like younger coaches coming up that are just like volunteers that are helping, and then they'll go through all that training before they get their own classes too. So we've had kids that come through. I think Izzy, your daughter, she did it for many years. She volunteered before she had her own classes too.
Yeah, she started I think she was in 8th grade when she started volunteering and helping Katie. And then in the end, she was a team coach and very dedicated, loves the gym. She's now in chiropractic school, which again came from this influence right here. She has influenced so many young women.
That is so
That's
admirable.
amazing.
It's to make such an impact on young people's lives. I think that the activities they're involved in, and by putting our kids in places that there's positivity, there's just so many ways for them to grow and capture their imagination and let them feel that confidence of not just, that it's okay to fail, but then you pick yourself up. And as you work hard to make yourself better and see the strides you've done, because certainly none of us could even do any of these things. I don't even know the names of half of them, like the back handspring, the tuck, but it's so amazing. And one of the times that our daughter was in for her lesson, the teenage girls were there. It was like, I think it was a holiday that the schools were all off. And it was so cute just to see these teenage girls. They were giggling and they're on their day off, right? But they were clearly having fun, but working hard, and, especially the bars and all the things they were doing. And then so for our daughter who's younger, to kind of see older girls doing those things, it's really nice that it's this huge space with so many different things that way they can kind of see ahead and capture their imagination. That for your daughter to, for this experience to have kind of shaped what she's decided to go into is truly remarkable. So in terms of private lessons, I want to touch on that too, because I know it's important to be a member to have private lessons. So how does one become a member?
Well, you can call Aura, our office manager, or you can go online to become a member and sign up for a class. Also, we do offer, like, sometimes you have 3 cheer friends and you're like, hey, I have 3 or 4 friends that they really want to work on these skills. We have in the past set up different times or different classes specific for, groups of people too, as long as it's enough people that we can form the class for. And so even so, like if you had 3 friends from cheer that you want them to do a class, then give Aura a call or look on our website and sign up.
Great.
That is so cool, because I know with the kids, they know the skills that they need to work on even more than the parents, because, going to the tournaments and such, it's interesting because our daughter's in seventh grade. So she's watching the JV and she's watching the high school team. And then you see the high school team, all 12 girls do a tuck at the exact same time. And the 7th grader's like, oh my gosh, we need to do that in 2 years.
Yeah, it probably makes them a little nervous at first. They're like, oh my.
Yes.
A little bit.
But they'll get there.
Yeah.
They'll get
Once,
there.
once upon a time, but at least they understand what it is that they're looking for. Because we had no idea. And like I said, I was calling around to different studios and half of them wouldn't even call me back because I wasn't asking for the right thing. But then it was funny because, I know Katie more socially, and I had been having a conversation with her husband, and it was sort of this tickle, like, wait, doesn't Katie do something with this? I'm just striking out all over the place over here. Like, oh yeah, everything you've been dreaming for is right here. I'm like, oh. So it was really kind of fun.
Yeah, I guess I need to do a better job of advertising.
You know what? And that's what we want to kind of help out with here too. So that way you have this great podcast that can kind of tell a little bit, even in terms of the backstory, because I think it being a nonprofit is a really unusual thing too.
It really is. And, she's the last person to toot her own horn. So we tend to have to do that for her as board members. She's amazing.
Yep. Well, and one of the other things I saw when being in the facility and such is going to other places. I won't name the other places, but going to other places, it's either intimidating that there's so much going on for the kids, or the parents don't feel that it's safe what's going on. And your facility had neither of those things, because it's inviting and it's safe at the same time. Because I've had my daughter other places, and then I turn around and I turn back. I'm like, oh my God, what, there's no one watching her. She's, so you want to strike that balance where they feel like they can go off and do things, but at the same time, you don't have that fear that it's not safe.
No, I'm glad you feel that way. That's what we want you to feel.
Yeah.
And the kids too.
But you guys really are succeeding. And, we're getting on to summer camps too. So it sounds like those are some things you offer most summers. Is it mainly the regular classes, or is it like a special summer camp kind of thing?
No, they're you just have to stay tuned to the website. But yes, we offer different classes. You don't have to be a gymnast to take those classes. There's different themes for different weeks, different age groups. So I think it'll be like 9 to 3, and you'll be able to get all the details on the web.
Awesome. And then our daughter obviously knows your daughters, and I know they do the swimming and the golf, and do they do gymnastics, or
they flip around everywhere too?
Okay.
Yep.
Okay.
Yep. Can't stop them.
Well, this is good. You raise them right.
Yeah, we try.
Great. Now, do you have any advice for beginners, for, people getting started? Is there a particular, like just kind of the 101 class? Is that the best place? Or?
Well, when they start, I guess I would say, like, things aren't as easy as they seem. Like, they watch TV and they're like, "Ooh, I want to do it just like that, that gymnast or this gymnast." But I guess we just try to make sure that they understand, like, first, we're being safe and we're not just running around with like a chicken with our head cut off, and you need to learn to follow instructions, and and like tie up your hair. That's a big one. The kids love to wear their hair down, and so we just try to encourage, like those kind of things. And the coaches truly love what they're doing, and they try to make things fun, like make relay races up at the end and different things, so they can end on like a fun note. We have like a little like inflatable pit. They sometimes do like their little jumps and different things into that, so they look forward to that too.
Oh, how fun! Now, how many coaches do you have?
Oh, I think we have between like 5 to 9. It just depends on the busy part of the season and how many people are. Like, some of our coaches, they are in gymnastics, in gymnastics season, so it's quite hard for them to do both things. So they kind of take off different, and they kind of rotate around. And then we obviously have some older ones too that have other jobs that do both too. So everybody kind of like makes it work.
And for those looking at gymnastics for like high school teams and such, when does that season run?
So we're a winter sport, so we start right after Halloween, and then we end the second weekend in March as state finals. So we're right in the middle of the season right now.
Wow.
How exciting.
But the nice part is, so our gym, our program, as you become in the competitive program, all of the skills that the kids compete and all the skills they learn, it's the same skills as they will do in high school. So we're kind of like building them up. So when they get to high school, they're very successful gymnasts because they've been doing these skills when they were little. And it's pretty neat to see, because they understand what to do already. They're like, I already know I need this, this, and this to do well at.
Right. And I assume so our kids ski, and they started skiing when they were a year and a half, 2 years old. So they were going down black diamonds and I used to tell people, I'm like, well, they didn't know fear at that age. So I'm assuming that there's a part of that in gymnastics where they're learning things where if you're a 15-year-old learning something, or 5, it's a bit easier for the 5-year-old because they don't have that fear.
That is very, very true. And once they learn that something could go wrong, like they split the beam the first time, like then that fear, yes, I totally agree. I'm dealing that with one of my daughters right now. Such is life, though, right?
Yep.
Yeah. Well, and the nice part is then they're better off on the other end too once they get past that. But yeah, I think it's scarier for the parent.
Oh yeah,
right?
I think so too. And it's weird being on that side that I never had been on before, because I'm like, what are these parents? And they're like, oh, I watched my kid do that. That's so scary. I'm like, what are you talking about? And then I take my child to dive or some other sport I'm not very comfortable in, and I'm like, oh my gosh, they're gonna hit their head on the board. Like I'm finally on the other side of it, and it is frightful. Now I understand what those parents were coming from. All those,
Right.
I was just always a part of it, never really thought much of it.
Right, but a lot of those skills are transferable when you think about like the vault going to diving. It's a lot of the same skills, right?
A lot of the same air awareness and
Right.
body awareness. Yeah, when you're doing that. Yep. It's very true.
A lot of overlap. So it's been really interesting to kind of talk through, as you mentioned, in terms of, not just the gymnastics, but the dance and now diving and cheer and like just so many different sports that, especially, for those that their child's already kind of immersed in a different sport, I imagine that there's just a lot of great skills that, especially with summer coming up here,
Yes.
Great thing to try out.
For little ones too, especially, like you have a little boy, like, yes, he's going to play football if you want him to, try football, but to be able to learn your body and learn, air awareness, spatial awareness and everything at such a young age, it's so important. It's so good for them. Yeah. It really is.
And I marvel at the flexibility. Like, my daughter's like, what do you mean you can't touch your toes? And I'm like, no, that's not going to happen.
Yep. Those are great things to work at. But that flexibility, it's really wonderful. So, Tracey, what really stands out to you in terms of just as you look back on your experience with this group? I mean, what's...
She's cringing because I get very emotional because it's very near and dear to my heart.
To have that personal connection.
Just the growth that you see in your children and the love of the sport and the companionship of their friends and their lifelong relationships. My daughter is still in touch with her all the time. She's probably one of her best friends, seriously. And there's a lot of age between them, but she just looks up to her so much. And for you to find a program for your child that builds them up like that, it's life-changing.
It's fantastic. That's what every mother wants. That's why all the mothers out there, that's why you're driving your kid from point A to point B, is you really want to give them the best that you can. And so finding places like this, that's what it's really about.
Yeah, truly.
So I'm sure everybody out there wants to know more about how to get in on this, how to find out where, what classes are going to work best for them. And we've said where it's at and whatnot, but where do people find out more information, Katie?
Livingston County Gymnasts.com, and you can call Aura, our office manager. She is the most wonderful. She will go the extra mile every time for you and try to find the class you need or the time you need. She is really wonderful, and we couldn't be operating without her.
Fantastic. And we'll make sure to put that in the show notes so that way for all of you guys out there, there's just a lot of great opportunity. So, wonderful things going on here, and it's close as can be. You probably didn't even know it was there, but go check it out because it's well worth it. This was the best thing we've done in a long time for our kids, I think.
Oh, 100%. And I love that it's local. It's a nonprofit. It's owned and operated by local people. It really is a family. It's not a corporate environment that you're going into. So they're going to make those relationships, those lifelong relationships. And, we're all searching for some place that our kid feels safe and that they can develop into the person that they want to be and you want them to be. And it sounds like this is a place that they can do that. So we encourage anyone out there to really reach out, check them out, and just get involved.
Yeah, be part of the group here. That there's just so much to offer to you and your family, your kids. This is a wonderful organization. So great. Well, thank you so much for joining us, Katie and Tracey. And
we really appreciate you guys coming today. Is there anything at all we missed?
I don't think so. I appreciate you guys. Thank you very much.
Oh, no problem.
We really enjoy building up the small businesses around our county because we've been here over 20 years and we just love it. And so many new people have moved into the county, or even, for those of us that have been around a while, we're constantly finding other businesses that everybody needs to know about. So
people know where the Pepsi plant is, and they didn't know that you were right across the street right there.
Right?
So
now they know. But so we really want to get the word out about the podcast to, continue to have great guests like this. We're so excited that you guys could join us and for our listeners to listen to this episode here today. So make sure that you like and subscribe and share it out. Tell your friends about Welcome to Livingston. You're doing some great things here, and we just want to keep up the good work and share things that you guys find interesting. And I know I sure did. This was definitely even better than I was hoping for, and finding out just all the great things that you guys do and are into.
Thank you so much. Welcome to Livingston.